Hey guys, it's me, it's Queen Offset Haru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Alright guys, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and pass it on to somebody else who may like it as well. Also, if you have time, please drop me a comment in the comment section. I would love to know if you understand what I'm talking about when I discuss today's discussion, okay? Now, earlier I was talking about, how people will try to destroy you and you ain't even did nothing half of the time. People hating on you, people trying to harm you, trying to knock you down, jealous of you, crabs in the barrel trying to pull you back down because they're down, things like that. And I wanted to mention something that I think is really important with this. Every time someone has tried to knock me down, and it's happened many times, and I'm sure it happened many more times. Every time someone has tried to destroy me, it has done nothing but make me stronger. Every single time. I might have fallen down, from somebody, somebody sabotaged me, somebody snitch on me at work, or, a boss hates me and starts, planting a paper trail against me. Anytime anybody's done anything against me, and this has happened a lot, like I said, with jobs, with jealousy, in the neighborhood I grew up in, all kind of stuff at school. Whenever these kind of things happen that were meant to just take me out, some of the times they were hard to deal with, emotionally speaking. When you got mean girls jealous, talking about you, putting you down, that shit hurts, man. I don't care how strong you are, people attacking you when you don't deserve it is painful. And as an Aquarius, and even as not an Aquarius, some of you out there have, I'm sure, experienced this. Just people treating you badly or treating you unfairly because they aren't you. I used to always say, bitch, don't hate me because you ain't me, okay? And that happens a lot. People who are what I would call bottom feeders, people who can't get right, people who are just jealous because they see you where you're at and they want to be there, and you might not even be at this great, wonderful space. I remember when I was a very young girl, this girl up the street could not stand me. And I didn't do anything to her, so I really couldn't understand it. And one day my best friend asked her, why don't you like her? Like, what did she do to you? And she said, I don't like her because she thinks she cute. Which is like the most, like, stupid reason I've ever heard in my life. Like, what? But the truth of the matter was, I didn't think I was cute. I was 11 years old. I had acne. I had glasses. I was fat. I did not feel cute, But for some reason, she got that from my energy or from something and made that decision and hated me because of it. So a lot of people may not like you or may try to do things against you for no fault of your own. And I just wanted to point out to you that this has happened to me many times and may, like I said, may even happen again, but it didn't matter. Because whenever somebody did something to me, and no matter how painful it was and what emotional changes I may have went through, every time somebody tried to destroy me, it made me smarter. It made me better. It made me stronger because I had to figure out how to combat what they were doing. So if I had a bad reputation, people were talking about me, I had to figure out, well, how can I change my reputation? How can I let people really see who I really am, and that is this person? I always had to use this. And as the Aquarius were clever anyway. So I always had to use my brain to get out of situations that haters would try to put me in. Or like I had a boss who hated me and he kept trying to find ways, to get me fired. Couldn't get me fired. So he kept on, trying little paper trail things and little stuff, And I just found a new job. I found a better job, as a matter of fact. And by the time the drama that he had kicked up ensued, I had a new job and had given him my 2 weeks notice. So my thing is that it just made me reach higher. It made me go for a better job because it was like, I can't stay here, so I might as well try to find a better job. And every time somebody tried to destroy me emotionally, even with Voldemort, it always made me better, because I would look at the situation, and this is the reason why it happened, because it could have made me worse. It could have made me bitter. It could have messed up my life. Any of these things that people tried to do to me could have harmed me. But the reason why it didn't was because of this. See, I didn't look at it like, oh my God, I'm destroyed. At first I did, because we get caught up in the drama, right? We get caught up in the drama. We're crying, we're upset, we're angry. But what happened was that at the end of every situation, I would say to myself, how can I get out of this? And how can I fix this? How can I productively deal with this drama, this emotion, this situation? And that one question, how can I productively deal with this, is the question. And that one question is what helped me raise up every single time. It's people who tried to destroy me that are sitting there wondering how I'm still chilling. I'm still chilling. All these years later, they still doing whatever they're doing. Half of them not even doing as good as me, and I'm still chilling. And why is that? Is it because I'm a witch and I have all these magical powers? Well, that probably has something to do with it. But the biggest part is because of that one question. And that one question is a question anybody, including you, can ask yourself. How can I deal with this in a productive manner? And once you start thinking like that, instead of thinking, oh, woe is me, or pitying yourself, or being like, why me? Why this person doing this to me? Because that's what most people go to, how it's unfair. They get stuck in the unfairness of it. And then the heaviness of it just makes them sink. So instead of going there, go to a place of, okay, my boss has created a paper trail. He's got me fired. I don't have a job. What can I do productively? How can I raise up out of this? You know, that has to be the question. Because if you lay in there and wallow, then your boss or whoever has done this to you has won. They've knocked you down. You're destroyed, you know, and now you're all bitter, upset, and don't know what to do. That's why I said, instead of falling into that vibration, fall into a productive vibration. What can I do about this? How can I get out of this situation? And that's what I did every time one of those people, one of those haters, one of those bottom feeders, you know, one of those attackers tried to get me. You know, that's why it's always been easy for me to forgive the past, because every time that somebody came at me with some of that energy, I overcame. I was able to overcome it. So after a while, I started to look at the situations and be like, you know, these actually are kind of good for me, because this is making me better. Having to combat their bullshit actually made me raise up, made me reach for more, made me go for a better job, made me want to be a better person. Every time something came at me negative, I always pushed back with productive and positive energy. How can I change this situation for my better? Okay, I'm fired. Now what? Well, a productive thing to do. You got time on your hands. Why don't you work on your new business model, your business plan? Why don't you create or invent that thing that you always wanted to create or invent? You fired anyway, you're getting unemployment for 6 months, so you got a little bit of time to write that book. You got time to write that stage play, you know? And that's what I did. Every time something popped off, I looked for the silver lining. What is good in this? What can help me in this? Like in the situation with Voldemort, I told you guys, I was like, I can either lay here and let this emotionally cripple me, or I can figure out why this happened and how to make it not happen again. And that pain is what pushed me to change my entire life. So a lot of times people are going to do things to you. They're going to try to knock you down, but it doesn't have to succeed. Your perspective about it, your response to it, is what makes the determining factor. So I don't care who did what to you. Figure out how can you turn things around. because there's always a way to turn things around. Anytime anybody did anything sneaky, negative, nasty to me, I figured out a way to turn things around. And they still sitting back mad to this day. They mad to this day. They real big mad to this day that I'm not curled up in a ball somewhere, still worried about them. Don't let nobody do that to you. Don't let nobody have the satisfaction of doing that to you. You raise up, you pick yourself up, and you keep it moving. You feel me? Time for me to get going. All right, guys, if you would like to get a reading done, please email me and I'll give you an appointment. All my information will be underneath this video, and I'll be back on Monday with another episode of Ask an Aquarius, and I'll be uploading the witch trials. So any of you who are my patrons on Patreon, the new episode of the witch trials will be uploaded on Monday. Okay, guys, have a wonderful weekend. See you later.